Okay, this video is about the 2018-2019 released ACT test. I'm going to work out all the solutions for all 60 problems. This test is 60 questions in 60 minutes. You get to use a calculator. It is all multiple choice, and there are 5 answer choices per question. I made a list of the formulas that I see on this test that you need to know. And the questions are divided into different categories. So we have some preparing for advanced math, integers, algebra, functions, geometry, statistics, integrated essential skills, and modeling. And I listed some of the formulas that you do need to know. So different equations of lines, slope, distance equals rate times time, sequence and series. I need to be able to change units, state domain and range, and set builder and interval notation, factoring, zeros, the discriminant of a quadratic equation, standard form of a polynomial, factored form, fractional exponents, switching between them and their radical, rules of exponents, parent functions. In this one, there's linear, quadratic, exponential, absolute value, and greatest integer. I need to know the transformations. From geometry, basic stuff I should know is complementary angles, supplementary angles, vertical angles, linear pair, triangle sum theorem, Pythagorean theorem, midpoint formula, triangle congruence, perimeter and area formulas for a square, rectangle, triangle, circle, and trapezoid, volume of a rectangle and a cylinder, changing units between degrees and radians, trig, sine, cosine, and tangent, equation of a circle. From pre-calculus, the period of some trig functions. Statistics, I need to know mean, median, and mode, and probability. Okay, so let's get started. Problem number 1. Marcus's favorite casserole recipe requires 3 eggs and makes 6 servings. Marcus will modify the recipe by using 5 eggs and increasing all other ingredients in the recipe proportionally. What is the total number of servings the modified recipe will make? Okay, so this is proportionally is what it's checking us on. So this is part divided by whole. So right now, he is using 3 eggs in 6 servings. So I want to know if I'm using 5 eggs in how many servings. So I want to know how many servings that is. So I know that when I cross multiply, that x equals 5 times 6 divided by 3, and I get x equals 10 servings. Let's try number 2. The 35-member history club is meeting to choose a student government representative. The members decide that the representative who will be chosen at random cannot be any of the 3 officers of the club. What is the probability that Hiroko, who is a member of the club but not an officer, will be chosen? So this is a probability question. I know I have 35 people in the group and 3 are officers. So I am going to say only one person is going to be chosen. So probability is the chance, the number of ways something can happen. divided by the total number of outcomes. Oops, here we go. So the number of ways something can happen, just one person is going to be chosen. And the total number of outcomes is I have 35 people, but I can't include the 3 officers, so I'm going to subtract them out. So my probability is 1 over 32. Number 3. For what value of x is the equation 2 raised to the power 2x plus 7 equal to 2 to the 15th power? When my bases are the same, then my exponents are equal. So when the bases are the same, my exponents are equal. So I can solve my equation 2x plus 7 equals 15. If I subtract 7 from both sides, I get 2x equals 8 and x equals 4. Let's try number 4. Let the function f be defined f of x equals 5x squared minus 7 times the quantity 4x plus 3. What is the value of f at x equals 3? So I'm going to put this into y equals. I'm going to go look in the table at x equals 3. So I get f at 3 is negative 60. This is just a calculator problem. All right, let's try number 5. A wallet containing $5 bills, 5 $5 bills, 7 $10 bills, and 8 $20 bills is found and returned to its owner. The wallet's owner will reward the finder with 1 bill drawn randomly from the wallet. What is the probability that the bill drawn will be a $20 bill? So again, this is probability, which is the number of ways something can happen divided by the total number of outcomes. So for the $5 bills, I have 5 of these. For the $10 bills, I have 7 of these. And the $20 bills, I have 8 of these. So if I add all of these, I have 20 bills in the wallet. So the probability, if he draws a 20, I have 8 chances of drawing a 20 over a total of 20. If I simplify my fraction, this is 2 divided by 5. Okay, the ABC Book Club charges $40 monthly fee plus $2 per book read in that month. The Easy Book Club charges $35 monthly fee plus $3 per book read in that month. For each club, how many books must be read in 1 month for the total charges for each club to be equal? So these are 2 linear equations. So I'm setting these up as ABC Club and EBC Club. Okay, so the $40 monthly fee, this is B. $2, this is M, my slope. 35 is B for the EBC Club, and $3 is my slope. So I'm using the linear equation y equals mx plus b. So substituting in my equations, I get 2x plus 40 equals 3x plus 35. If I subtract 2x from both sides, I get 40 equals x plus 35. Subtracting 35 from both sides, I get 5 equals x. So 5. X is 5. Okay, number 7. In parallelogram ABCD below, segment AC is a diagonal. The measure of angle ABC is 40 degrees, and the measure of angle ACD is 57 degrees. What is the measure of angle CAD? So this is the angle I want to know. So I'm starting out with, from geometry, that I know in parallelograms, this angle CAD is this angle is that I'm trying to find. So I know from geometry that opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. So if angle B is 40 degrees, then angle D is 40 degrees. After I apply that, then I'm going to look at the triangle ACD, and I'm going to apply the triangle sum theorem. I know that all three angles total 180. Oops. So if I start with 180 and I subtract out the 57 degrees and the 40 degrees, I have an 83-degree angle left. So this is applying two concepts from geometry. All right, let's try number 8. When x equals 1/2, what is the value of 8x minus 3 divided by x? So this is in my calculator. I want to use my fractions. Probably works the best. And that is alpha and y equals. So if I put this in fraction mode and substitute 1/2 for x, or use 0.5, I will get 2. Number 9. In the standard xy coordinate plane, what is the midpoint of the line segment that has endpoints 3, 8, and 1, -4? So this is my midpoint formula, where I add my x coordinates, x1 plus x2, and divide by 2, and I add my y coordinates, y1 plus y2, and divide it by 2. So I'm going to add 3 plus 1 and divide it by 2, and I'm going to add 8 plus -4 divided by 2, and I get the coordinate 2, 2. All right, let's try 10. The fluctuation of water depth that appear is shown in the figure below. One of the following values gives the positive difference in feet between the greatest water depth and the least water depth shown in this graph. What value is it? So this is just asking me to subtract the maximum minus the minimum. So taking a look, here's my maximum, here's my minimum. So a positive difference means subtract. So I'm just taking 12 minus 6, which is 6. So positive difference means I guess it would be taking the absolute value. Let's try 11. What is the slope of the line through -2, 1 and 2, -5 in the standard xy coordinate plane? So I know slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 is -5 minus 1 divided by 2 minus -2, which is -6. So this becomes adding, divided by 4. Simplified is -3 over 2. All right, let's try 12. Oops. In Cherokee County, the fine for speeding is $17 for each mile per hour the driver is traveling over the posted speed limit. In Cherokee County, Kirk was fined $221 for speeding on a road with a posted speed limit of 30 miles per hour. Kirk was fined for traveling at what speed in miles per hour? So his fine is equal to $17 for the posted speed minus 30, because 30 is the actual speed limit. So the speed he was going. So the fine was $221, $17. So speed minus 30. We're solving for his speed. So I'm going to distribute the 17. So my speed, I'm going to multiply. So my solving for speed, I get speed equals 221 divided by 17 plus 30, which is 43 miles per hour. So he was going 43 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. 13. What is the sum of the solutions of the two equations below? I'd caution you to make sure you answer the question. So it's asking for what is x plus y? So make sure you answer the question. So starting out, I have 8x equals 12. Solving for x, I get x is 12 divided by 8, which is 1.5. 2y plus 10 equals 22. So 2y equals 12. So y equals 6. So x plus y equals 1.5 plus 6, which is 7.5. 14. Oops. The average of 5 distinct scores has the same value as the median of the 5 scores. The sum of the 5 scores is 420. What is the sum of the scores that are not the median? So the sum is, okay, so mean is the average, median is the middle. So mean is the average, median is the middle, and the mode is the most frequent. And you may not have had this recently. Okay, so I'm starting out with the sum is 420. So if I find the average, I'm going to take 420 divided by 5, and I get 84. So I have 5 numbers. So I have a number plus a number plus a number plus a number plus a number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the median is the middle number. We said is 84. This is my median. So I'm going to take the total, which is 420, and subtract out the 84. And I get 336. So it's asking me for what is the sum of the scores that does not include the median. So this is just make sure you answer what the question is. Number 15. What is the value of the expression below? So this is a absolute value inside of an absolute value. If you want to put it in on your calculator, absolute value is under math, number, and then it's the first one, and it says ABS and looks like this. If I solved it just in my head, which I think is possible, so negative 8 plus 4, the absolute value of that is 4. And 3 minus 9, the absolute value of that is 6. So the absolute value of 4 minus 6 is 2. So you can do it. Some of these are really quick that I don't necessarily need my calculator. Okay, number 16. Which of the following expressions is equal to x to the 2/3 power? So I need to remember that the base, when I'm raising that to a fractional exponent, is the power divided by, it's either called the root or the index. And when I write that in a radical form, this is going to be my base, my power, and my index. So rewriting this equation is the third root of x squared. Okay, let's try 17. In the standard xy coordinate plane, what is the slope of the line given by the point 4x equals 7y plus 5? I can see slope in the y-intercept form, so I want to solve for y. So I want to get to y equals mx plus b, so I can see the slope. So I am going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I get 4x minus 5 equals 7y, and divide both sides by 7. So I know my slope is 4/7. 18. For which of the following conditions will the sum of integers m and n always be an odd integer. So this is just vocabulary. Integers are the number line. So it is all the positive and negative numbers and their opposites. So I'm looking for when I add them together, it'd be an odd. So sum is adding. I have an odd integer. So if m is odd, I'm not really sure what's going on with n. So that is not an answer. If n is odd, I don't know what's going on with m, so that's really not enough information either. If m and n are both odd, when I add two odd numbers, I end up with an even number, and I want an odd number, so no. And if I'm both even, when I add two even numbers, I get a even number, so not this one. And if I have an even and an odd, then I'll end up with a odd number. So last one is my solution. Okay, 19. The length of two legs of the right triangle ABC are given in inches. The midpoint of AB is how many inches away from A? So this is asking for the midpoint. So I'm going to call this M, the midpoint here, and it's asking me how far away is this from point A. So this is another answer one of the questions. So I'm applying, this is a right triangle, so I'm applying the Pythagorean Theorem. So I know the leg squared plus the leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So the hypotenuse is going to be 24 squared plus 32 squared, and taking the square root. So I get the hypotenuse is 40, and this is the midpoint, so this is going to be 20 and 20. So make sure you know that I am not finding the hypotenuse. I'm finding what's the midpoint of the hypotenuse, which is 20. Number 20, in triangle DEF, the length of DE is the square root of 30 inches, and the length of EF is 3 inches. So triangle DEF, the length of DE is the square root of 30 inches, and the length of EF is 3 inches. If it can be determined, what is the length of DF? And I need 3 parts. I need 3 things. Need 3 parts. I don't have 3 parts. I just have 2 parts. So this is, I cannot be determined from this piece of information. All right, let's try 21. Laura plans to paint the 8-foot-high rectangular walls of her bedroom, and before she buys the paint, she needs to know the area of the wall surface to be painted. 2 walls are 10 feet wide, and the other 2 walls are 15 feet wide. The combined area of the one window and the one door in her room is 60 square feet. What is the area in square feet of the wall surface Laura needs to plan for? So she has 4 walls, right? And the walls are 8 feet, and 2 walls are 10 feet, and 2 walls are 15 feet. So the area she needs to plan for are 2 times 8 times 10 plus 2 times 8 times 15, and then she needs to subtract out the window and the door. So this is 340 square feet. All right, let's try 22. The length of a rectangle is 5 inches longer than the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 40 inches. What is the width of the rectangle in inches? So drawing my rectangle. So what I do know is the perimeter is 40 inches. Here's my length. Here's my width. So my width is x. My length is x plus 5. Oops, 40. So to find the perimeter, so the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So this is 2 times x plus 5 plus 2 times x. So this is 40 equals 2x plus 30 plus 2x. So 10, plus 2x. So subtracting 30 from both sides, I get 10 equals, 5 times 2. I'm sorry. So 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So I get 30 equals 4x. So divide both sides by 4. And I get x equals 7.5. Number 23. X is 8% of 60 is 1/5 of what number? So to write the percent is out of 100, so I'd say 8 out of 100 equals x out of 60. So cross multiplying, I get x equals 8 times 60 divided by 100, which is 4.8. So 4.8 times 5 is 24. All right, number 24. Armin is trying to decide whether to buy a season pass to his college basketball team's 20 home games this season. The cost of an individual ticket is $14, and the cost of a season pass is $175. The season pass will admit Armin to any home baseball game at no additional cost. What is the minimum number of home basketball games Armin must attend this season in order for the cost of a season pass to be less than the total cost of buying individual tickets for each game he attends? Okay, so the equation for the cost of the tickets is y equals 14x. If I put that in the calculator and then go look in the table, I will see that for 8, 9, 10, I'm sorry, I'm just going to do a couple. So I'm looking towards the 175. So I'm looking at 12 and 13 games here. So 12 games is $168. 13 games is $182. So I'm looking for 175, which is between 12 and 13 games. So for it to be a benefit, he would have to attend 13 games. Okay, let's do 25. Okay, putting this in the calculator, or, this is rules of exponents. So I'm going to divide this up, and I'm going to divide the coefficients, and I'm going to divide the powers. So 4.8 divided by 1.6 is 3. And then 10 to the negative 7 divided by 10 to the negative 11. I am going to move 10 to the negative 11 up to the numerator. When I move it up to the numerator, I change the sign. So this is going to be 10 to the negative 7. And then I am going to change the sign. So I am adding 11. So this will be 10 to the 4th. So 3 times 10 to the 4th. Number 26. A circle in the standard xy coordinate plane has center C, negative 1, 2, and passes through A, 2, 6. Line segment AB has a diameter of the circle. What are the coordinates of point B? Okay, so this is, the center is H and K. So the center is at negative 1, 2. And I am going through 0.26. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here is my center. This is point A. So I know point B is over here somewhere. And I can use the Pythagorean Theorem. So if I count here, I know I have 4 here and 3 here. So to go the same amount here, I'm going to go down 4 and to the left 3. So kind of looking at this, I'm looking at this as negative 1, 2. So I am going to subtract 3. And I'm going to subtract 4. So my new coordinates are going to be at negative 4, negative 2. I can count on my graph over here too. Okay, so that's from another one from geometry. 27. Which of the following expressions is a factor of x cubed minus 64? So this is, I need to know when I put this equation in y equals and I go look in the table. So a factor is y equals 0. So I am an x-intercept or on the x-axis. So when I'm looking in this form, x minus 4, this is at x equals 4. This is at x equals negative 4. This is at x equals negative 64. This is at x equals negative 16. So if I go look in the table, I see that at x equals 4, y is 0. If not, if I want to do it another way, which is a little more complicated, I can say a cubed minus b cubed is a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared and factor. But the quickest way is really just putting the equation in y equals and looking for where y equals 0. All right, let's try 26, 27, 28. We're up to 28. Okay, the average of a list of 4 numbers is 90. A new list of 4 numbers has the same first 3 numbers as the original list, but the 4th number in the original list is 80, and the 4th number in a new list is 96. What is the average of this new list of numbers? Okay, so I have these 3 numbers, and then the 4th number is 80 on the first list. And on the second list, I have the same 3 numbers, and the 4th number is 96 on the second list. So the average of the first list is 90. So if I know I have 4 numbers times 90, I have a total of 360. So if I add this first list, I know I have a total of 360. So I know also that if I take 360 and subtract out 80 for this number, the total of the first 3 numbers of either list is going to be 280. So to find the total of my second list is going to be 280 plus 96, which is 376. And now I'm looking for the average of the second list. So 376 divided by 4. And my average is 94. Okay, the number 29. Number A is located at negative 2.5 on the number line below. One of the following number lines show the location of A squared. Which number line is it? Okay, so what's important here is to make sure that when I'm putting this in my calculator, that I know this is 2.5 squared. Use parentheses, please. So this is 6.25. So 6.25 is on graph E. 30. Maria ordered a pizza. She only ate two-ninths of it and gave the remaining pizza to her 3 brothers. What fraction of the whole pizza will each of Maria's brothers receive if they share the remaining pizza equally? So if she ate 2/9, there's 7/9 left. And each one is going to get a third because she has 3 brothers. So that is 7 over 27. All right, let's try 31. We're halfway. The number 1001 is the product of prime numbers 7, 11, and 13. Knowing this, what is the prime factorization of 30,030? So if I take 30,030 and divide that by 1001, I get 30. So I want the prime factorization of 30. This is where you made those factor trees. So this is going to be 5 times 6. 5 is a prime factor. and 6 can be factored into 2 times 3. So the factors are 2, I'm sorry, this is 3, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. Well, that's this one here. Okay, 32. Oops. 32. Oops. Micaiah, an intern with the Parks and Recreation Department, is developing a proposal for the new trapezoidal Springdale Park. The figure below shows her scale drawing of the projected park with 3 side lengths and the radius of the merry-go-round given in inches. Oops. In Micaiah's scale drawing, 1 inch represents 1.5 feet. Okay, for what is the area in square inches of the scale drawing of the park? So I have a trapezoid shape. So the area of a trapezoid, so area of a trapezoid is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So in my drawing, I'm going to say this is base 1 and this one is base 2, but it doesn't matter which one you call 1 or 2. And here is my height. So substituting into my equation, 1/2 28 plus 40 and times 16, I get 544. So this is in square inches. We did not change units. Number 33. Micaiah's proposal includes installing a fence on the perimeter of the park. What is the perimeter in feet of the park? Okay, so perimeter is distance around. So I have all the sides except this side. So I need to calculate that distance. So I know I have a right triangle here. If this side is 16 over here, I know this side of the triangle will be 16. And to find this area distance here, I know this is going to be 40 minus 28, which is 12. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. So the distance here is going to be 16 squared plus 12 squared, and I'm going to get the square root of that. So my side is 20. So my perimeter is going to equal 28 plus 16 plus 40 plus 20, which is 104 inches. And now I need to change units. So I have 104 inches, and up here 1 inch equals 1.5 feet. So multiplying 104 times 1.5 feet, I get 156 feet. Number 34, the length of the south side of the park is what percent of the length of the north side of the park? So the south side of the park, so I have a compass here. I have a compass here. So my south side is 40 inches. My north side is 28. So I am to find the south compared to the north. So south is 40. The north is 28, which is 1.428 as a decimal. To change it to a percent, this is going to be 142.8%. Okay, let's try number 35. The Smith family is planning to build a 3-room cabin, which consists of 2 bedrooms, 1 living room. Shown below are the rectangular first floor left figure and a side view of the cabin right figure. In the side view, the roof forms an isosceles triangle. The walls are perpendicular to the floor. And we got some midpoint information. Okay. During the week the Smiths plan to roof the cabin, there is a 20% chance of rain each day. Okay, number 35. Mr. Smith plans to build a 3-foot wide walkway around the outside of the cabin as shown on the floor plan. What will be the area in square feet of the top surface of the walkway? So I want to know what's the area of this right here. So I got some dimensions, and I have an outside and an inside. So I'm going to subtract out the inside value. So I'm going to say the outside value minus the inside value to give me the sidewalk. So the outside area minus the inside area. So the outside area is going to be 30 times 36 minus my inside area, which is going to be 30 times 24. And I get 360 feet squared. Okay, number 36. Mrs. Smith will install a ceiling fan for each room of the cabin and will place curtains over the 4 windows. Each of the ceiling fans has a price of $52. The price of the curtains for each small window is $39.50, and the price of the curtains for the large window is twice that for the small window. Based on this information, which of the following values is closest to the total price Mrs. Smith will pay for curtains and ceiling fans? Okay, so the fans are 3 times 52, which is 156. So my window that's small is going to be, she has 3 of those, and that's 3 times $39.50. So this is $118.50. And my window that's large is twice as much. I have just one, but twice as much as $39.50. So this is $79. Adding all these together, I get $353.50. So that's closest to $354. Okay, let's try 37. Mr. and Mrs. Smith plan to roof the cabin on 2 consecutive days. assuming that the chance of rain is independent of the day, what is the probability that it will rain both days? So in probability, when we're doing them consecutively, this is an and. So and means multiply my probabilities. So so this is going to be 2 out of, or 20. 20% is 20 out of 100. 20 out of 100 equals 0.04 probability, which is a 4% chance. Number 38. Which of the following expressions, when evaluated, equals an irrational number? So irrational means does not terminate or repeat. So if I put all of these in, this is 0.5, this is 2, this is 8, this is 4, and this is 2.828, and it keeps going. So here's my irrational number. 39. A line passes through the origin and 10, 4 is shown in the standard XY coordinate plane. The acute angle between the line and the positive x-axis has a measure of theta. What is the value of the tangent of theta? Say this is a geometry problem, so SOHCAHTOA. So it's asking for tangent. So I know tangent is opposite divided by adjacent. So if my point is at 10, 4, my x is 10 and my y value is 4. So opposite is 4 divided by adjacent, which is 10, which is 2 over 5 when I simplify. 40. The equation, the absolute value of 2x minus 8 plus 3 equals 5 has two solutions. Those solutions are equal to the solution to which of the following pairs of equations? Okay, when I have absolute value, I have two equations. So the first one is just as the equation is written. So this is going to be absolute value of 2x minus 8 plus 3 equals 5. And my second equation is going to be negative. Oh, I don't want the absolute value here. Here, let me do this again. So to take out the absolute value, the first equation is the plus the value of just 2x minus 8 plus 3. And the second equation is the minus 2x minus 8, equals 5, plus 3 equals 5. So I just need to be careful with what the answer solution choices are. So I know I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I'm left with 3 over here. Oh, this is minus 3. Oh, I'm really having a hard time on this. Let's try this again. Okay, so this is going to be plus 3 equals 5. So when I'm subtracting 3 from both sides, This is just going to be 2 on this side. So I need to pay attention when I'm looking at my equations, what I have over here. So just be careful. All right, 41. The frequency chart below shows the cumulative number of Ms. Henderson science students whose test scores fell within a certain score range. All test scores are whole numbers. How many students have a test score in the interval from 71 to 80? Okay, so 71 to 80 is in this interval here. So to go from here to here, this was +1, so just one student. Oops, 42. The number of decibels D produced by an audio source can be modeled by the equation D equals 10 times the log of I divided by K, where I is the sound intensity of the audio source and K is a constant. How many decibels are produced by an audio source whose sound intensity is 1,000 times the value of K? So this is a logarithmic problem. So I divided by K is 1,000 times greater. So substituting that into my equation, I get D equals 10 times the log of 1,000. So this is what I'm substituting in here. So log on the calculator is the button that's left of number 7. So this is talking about in base 10. So I'm just using the standard log button. So I get D equals 30. Okay, 43. Mario plays basketball on a town league team. The table below gives Mario's scoring statistics for last season. How many points did Mario score playing basketball last season? So here he attempted 80 shots and he made it 75% of the time. So when I multiply these out, you got 60 points here. When I multiply 60 times 0.9, so I need to change these to decimals. He scored 108 points. And 60 times 0.25, he scored 45 points. When I add these all up, I get 213 points. 44. The graph of y equals the absolute value of x minus 6 in the standard xy coordinate plane. Which of the following transformation, when applied to the graph of y equals the absolute value of x, results in the graph of y equals the absolute value of x minus 6? Okay, so this is the transformation, the horizontal transformation. So this is x minus c. And when I'm x minus a number, I am moving to the right. If I want to put this in the calculator and look, absolute value is under math on your calculator number, and it's number 1. A lot of students will ask me where that is in class. So I'm moving to the right 6. 45. Toby wants to find the volume of a solid toy soldier. He fills a rectangular container 8 centimeters long, 6 centimeters wide by 10 centimeters high, with water to a depth of 4 centimeters. Toby totally submerges the toy soldier in the water. The height of the water with the submerged toy soldier is 6.6 centimeters. Which of the following is the closest to the volume in cubic centimeters of the toy soldier? Okay, so here is our here's the bottom. We are filling our water up. And I start at, so this is length, we said is 8. Width, we said is 6. And height, the total height is 10. But I started and I filled it up originally. So originally he filled it up and then he added water with the toy soldier and it went up. So the original height is 4 and my new height is 6.6. So here's my original and here's my new height. So I know that volume is length times width times height. So the new height is going to be the difference here. So this is going to be 6.6 minus 4, which is 2.6. So that is the actual height the water changed. So my length is 8, my width is 6, and my height is 2.6, which is 124.8 centimeters cubed. Which is close to 125. Okay, 46. A box in the shape of a cube has an interior side length of 18 inches and is used to ship a right circular cylinder with a radius of 6 inches and a height of 12 inches. The interior of the box not occupied by the cylinder is filled with packing material. Which of the following numerical expression gives the number of cubic inches of the box filled with packing material? So this is going to be where I am taking the volume of the packing material is equal to the volume of the cube minus the volume of the cylinder. Okay, so the volume of a cube, so my cube is, my side is 18 inches. So this is going to be 18 cubed minus, so I know I'm not these right here. The volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times h. So my radius is 6 inches and a height of 12 inches. So pi r squared times h. So 18 cubed minus pi 6 squared times 12. 47. A room has a rectangular floor that is 15 feet by 21 feet. What is the area of the floor in square yards? So the area is 15 feet times 21 feet is 315 feet squared. And changing units, I know 1 foot I'm sorry, 3 feet equals 1 yard. But I have feet squared, so I need to square this. So this is going to be 315 feet divided by 9, which is 35. Oops. Which is 35. $35 yards squared. So how come that's moving? Oops, one more page. Nope, one more page. $35 yards squared. Okay, 48. ABC cabs and Terry taxi cabs both have an initial fare of whole numbers in dollars for one passenger. The fare increases a whole number of dollars at each whole number of miles traveled. The graph below shows the one passenger fares in dollars for both cab companies for trips up to 6 miles. When the fare of the two cab companies are compared, what is the cheaper fare for a 5-mile trip? So I'm looking at 5 miles. And the fare is $12 for ABC cabs. And 5 miles for this one is $9. So the lesser fare is $9, or cheaper fare. The graph of a function of f of x consists of 3 line segments. The graph and the coordinates of the endpoints of the 3 line segments are shown in standard xy coordinate plane below. What is the area in square coordinate units of the region bounded by the graph of f of x, the positive x-axis, the positive y-axis, and the positive x-axis? So it's asking me for the area underneath here. So I'm going to just divide this up into 3 simple figures from geometry. So I have a trapezoid, a rectangle, and a triangle. So the trapezoid, so area is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So 1/2, 3 plus 4 times 2 is 7. For my rectangle, this is going to be area equals base times height. So 1 times 3. And my triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, 2 times 3 is 3. Adding these up, I get 13. Okay, let's do 50. The sum of two positive numbers is 151. The lesser number is 19 more than the square root of the greatest number. What is the value of the greater number minus the lesser number? Okay, so I'm going to list my greater number as x, and my lesser number as y. Okay, so I want to know what is greater minus lesser. So this is a systems equation. So if I add my two numbers, the sum of two numbers is 151. So one equation is x plus y equals 151. And my second equation is the lesser number is 19 more than the square root of the greater number. So y equals the square root of x plus 19. So these are my two equations. Okay, so I am going to subtract 19 from both sides. So I get y minus 19 equals the square root of x. Next, I am going to square both sides. So I get y minus 19 squared equals x. So when I multiply this out, I get y squared minus 38y plus 361 wait a minute, what did I do here? All right, so this is x, so x plus y. Okay, so I'm doing a couple things in here. Okay, so at this point, here is my x value. So I'm going to take this right now, and I'm going to substitute x into here so that we know what I'm doing here. So I'm going to substitute y minus 19 quantity squared into x here. So this is going to be, so when I multiply this out, this is going to be y minus 19 times y minus 19 plus y equals 151. So multiplying this out, I'm going to get y squared minus 38y plus 361 plus y equals 151. Next, I'm going to combine like terms, and I'm going to move 151 to the left side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 151 from both sides. And I get y squared minus 37y plus 210 equals 0. I want to factor now, and I can see this in the calculator. So I can see what my factors of 210 are. So factoring, I get y minus 7 and y minus 30 equals 0. So this is y equals 7 and y equals 30. So if I put x plus 7, so x plus 7 equals 151. I get x equals 144. And x plus 30 equals 151. I get x equals 121. So now I'm going to subtract. So I got x and y and x and y. So I have 144 minus 7 is 137, or 121 minus 30, which is 91. And in my choices, I have 91 as a choice. So here is my solution. That one's a lot of work. So if you're working these and you get to this, if it's taking you more than a minute, I would just end and guess and come back to it if you have time at the end. All right, 51. The list of numbers 4, 35, 30, x, y, and 15 has a median of 25. The mode of the list of numbers is 15. To the nearest whole number, what is the mean of the list? Again, the mean is the average, median is the middle number, and the mode is the most frequent. Okay, so starting out with, I would put the numbers in order. So I know I have 15, x, y, 25, 30, 35, and 41. So here's my list. So starting out with, it says the list of numbers, the mode of the list is 15. So that means I have more than one 15. So I'm going to say x is 15. So I need to find y. To find y, I'm going to use the fact that I know that the median, the middle number, is 25. So I know that if I add y plus 30 and divide it by 2, that's going to equal 25, my middle number here. So this is going to be y plus 30 equals 50. So I know y equals 20. So I know y is 20 and this x is 15. Now I want to know what's the average of the list. So I'm going to add up all my numbers. So I add 15, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 41. Oops. Oops. So 15, 15, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 41. I'm going to add all of these up. I get 156. And then I'm going to take 156 and divide it by 6. And I get 26. So my median, or my mean, the average, the mean of my list is 26. All right, let's try 52. You are given the following systems of equations: y equals x squared, and r times x plus s times y equals t. So this is an example of a linear equation and a quadratic. For which of the following will there be more than one solution with the real number coordinate system? So I'm looking for two solutions. And I know I have two solutions when the discriminant is greater than 0. So two solutions when the discriminant is greater than 0. So that's b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. Okay, so I'm going to substitute here my y with x squared. Okay, so this is r times x plus s, and I'm going to substitute y with x squared equals t. So now I'm going to move t to the other side and put this in descending order. So this is sx squared plus r times x minus t is equal to 0. So my discriminant, so this is a, so here is a, this is b, and c is -1. So my discriminant, b squared, would be r squared minus 4 times a is s, and c is -1 when that's greater than 0. So this is r squared, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So plus 4s t. Oh, and c is a times c. 4a times c. st. So this is t. So this is the first solution right here. We're almost done. 53. The third and fourth terms of an arithmetic sequence are 13 and 18 respectively. What is the 50th term of the sequence? Okay, so this is from Sequence and Series. And the formula that I need to know is my nth term. A sub n equals my first term, a sub 1, plus my common difference, d times n minus 1. So this is telling me my third and my fourth term. So I am going with, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a1, a2, a3, a4. And my third and fourth terms are 13 and 18. So I know that my common difference is 5. So to go from here to here, this was plus 5. So to go backwards, I'm going to subtract 5. So I know my second term is 8, and subtracting 5 more, I know my first term is 3. So now I want to find my 50th term. So my 50th term is my first term, 3, plus my common difference of 5 times 50 minus 1. So my 50th term is 248. Okay, 54. One of the following graphs of the standard xy coordinate plane is the graph of y equals sine squared x plus cosine squared x over the domain of minus pi over 2 to pi over 2 is which one? So when I put this in my calculator, I want to be in radians. So in your calculator, you want to make sure you're in radians. And you're going to type in y equals. And when you take a look at the graph, you will see H. All right. 55. We are on the last page. What is the period of the function of f of x equals cosecant of 4x? So period equals 2 pi divided by b for cosecant, and we will get to this towards the end of the first semester, so most of you should not have had this yet. So my b value is 4. So substituting in, this is going to be 2 pi divided by 4. So simplified, this is pi over 2. 56. At the school carnival, Mike will play a game in which he will toss a penny, a nickel, and a dime at the same time. He will be awarded 3 points for each coin that lands with face up. Let the random variable x represent the total number of points awarded on any toss of the coins. What is the expected value of x? Okay, so this is where for a penny and a nickel and a dime. So we got 3 times a half and 3 times a half and 3 times a half. So if I add 3 halves plus 3 halves plus 3 halves, I get 9 halves. So probability. 57. For what positive real value of k, if any, is the determinant of the matrix equal to k? The determinant of the matrix equals AD minus BC. So A times D is K times K, which is K squared minus B times C. So 3 times 4. And it says equal to K. So I'm going to set this equal to K. So this is a quadratic equation. So I'm going to move K to the left. So K squared minus K minus 12 equals 0. So factoring, this is K minus 4 and K plus 3 equals 0. So this is K equals 4 and K equals negative 3. So the choices over here are 4. It just doesn't have negative 3 as a choice. Doesn't mean that's not a choice. It's just not the answer choice. All right, 58. Given a positive integer n such that I to the nth equals 1, which of the following statements about n must be true? So this is about imaginary numbers. So I squared equals negative 1. So from algebra 2, this is where I squared equals the square root of negative 1. Or I'm sorry, this is just I equals the square root of negative 1. So I squared equals negative 1. I cubed equals negative I. And I to the 4th equals 1. So when I'm working these out, given that I have a positive integer such that I to the nth is 1, which of the following statements must be true? So when I divide it by 4, the remainder is 0. 59. For theta between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2, the absolute value of the sine of the angle is greater than or equal to 1 is true for all and only the values of theta in which of the following sets. So if I put this in my calculator, even if I don't know what this is yet, what I'll see is this looks like this. So when we're doing this, since I see this, make sure you're in radians. And this is going to be +1, and this is -1. So I'm talking about these points here. And this is going to be here at, this is pi over 2, and here at -pi over 2. So we're going to get into this, but we just haven't quite covered this yet. Last question, 60. Ray PK bisects angle LPM. The measure of angle LPM is 11x, and the measure of angle LPK is 4x plus 18. What is the measure of KPM? So this is draw the picture. So we're talking about a bisector. So I know I have two equal angles. So this is LPM, and the measure of angle LPM is 11x. So the whole is 11x. And the measure of angle LPK, so this is K, LPK is 4x plus 18. Since these are congruent, this angle is also 4x plus 18. So writing my equation, I have 4x plus 18 plus 4x plus 18 equals 11x. So I get 8x plus 36 equals 11x. So subtracting 8x from both sides, I get 36 equals 3x. Dividing by 3, I get x equals 12. And then I want to substitute back in because it's asking me for the measure of the angle, so answer the question. Oops. So I'm going to go substitute back in. So 4 times 12 plus 18, and I get 66 degrees. So make sure you answer the question or you'll answer F. We did it. We're done.